Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day, a great day. I am here to hopefully do a quick video for you and share with you some listings and some things I've been working on this week. So yeah, I just want to go through these really quick because I'm doing this video before work today and I need to go and get ready for work in a minute. So anyway, I'm just going to go through the listings first and then I'll show you a journal I'm working on. So one listing I have is for coffee dyed folders. So that is in there. You can see these are coffee dyed on both sides. And I use these for all different kinds of things, for a basis for my journals, to cut up and make ephemera. So these particular ones have I wanted to show you, have a little label in here from the manufacturer. So you can cover that up if you don't like that. Okay, so I've got some different kinds of book page bundles because, you know, I use them in my journals and I thought I'd share them. Plus I have too many, right? So I have always used coffee dyed music pages in my book. I use regular without coffee dye and coffee dye. And so I thought I've never shared, excuse me, the coffee dyed one. So I thought I would. And so this pack is going to have different variety, and this is just an example. This is not like the whole bundle or anything, but a different variety of sizes. So I was just coffee dyeing like a mad woman the last week. Music book pages, I have a big stack ready to go, and so like all my listings are ready to go. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to order them and wait for me to get it. Do it. You know, you don't have to wait for me to coffee dye or anything. Everything, I always have everything ready to go. So this is an example of this is the biggest one. This is bigger than a regular size. I have a regular size here, but this is a little bit bigger. Music pages, and like sometimes there's a page like this and I'll include it, but it's not counted because it's not music, all music. So like I would just throw this in there and it's a freebie, and then it's because it's connected to this page. So you might get a page like that, extra little freebie page. And then there's the regular size, which is this. This is regular. You can see the difference here. Let me show you real quick. See, it's not much difference, but it's a little bit. These are a little bit bigger. And then this size, which is all music and coffee dyed. And then the hymn book pages in this bundle are 50s and younger. So like 50s, 60s, 70s. I have a few different hymn book pages. So that's what will be included in this bundle as coffee dyed pages. So that is the music bundle, coffee dyed music bundle. And then I have a bundle of another listing with a bundle of these garden pages. And these are cool to use because if you have never used them, they are, you know, double. So this will be counted as one page. I'm not counting this as 2 pages. The music I am, if it's connected, that's 2 pages. This is not. This is, I just don't, I don't know. I just don't see this as 2 pages because it looks like 1 page. I mean, when it's in the book, it's like you flip this over and then the next one, and then they're all like this, right? So you can, if you have a binder, if you're doing a binder journal, you can punch the holes to match your binder here in this little part that was previously in the binder that I got these out of. Or you can sew these in right here on the fold. You can cut them down to fit if you need to cut them smaller. I think I've cut, and there's a little bit of a white border around here, so if you needed to cut them down, you could. But anyway, or you can cut them up and make ephemera. They have these little pictures on the back here, which is cool. So they're all really pretty like this and have this pink kind of trim. See how it has the pink here and the pink in here? They're all like that. That's why I got it from the thrift store. When I saw it, I was like, those are the cutest pages ever. Because I see garden page books and I don't get them all because I don't like that one. That's ugly, you know, type of thing. And I don't want ugly. So, I mean, when you get as many books as I do, I've learned probably the hard way that I have to be a little picky. I want the different, the unique, the pretty, you know. I want the pretty. I can't help it. That's what I want. So that's the garden. This is the variety pack. So like in this one, and I'll be adding different pages and things to these as I process my books. I just have these particular books ready to go. So this is, you know, the example I'm showing you. So like this is a variety pack of kind of like neutral pages. So these are fun because you get different pages from different books, and they're different shades and things like that. So like this one, different sizes. So this one was cool because of the size. You see how it's kind of long and narrow. This is a poem book, you know, very different from what I usually find, not just stories, it's poems. This even has an old piece of tape on it. That's cool. And some little pictures, see little people there. And this is very old, this book right here. You can probably even tell from the pictures. And the pages are browning. They have kind of a distressed edge. I didn't do that. That's all natural. And then there's these, which is maybe a Reader's Digest. I'm not sure. But it was this size. All vintage. Everything's vintage. Or they could even be some antique pages in here. This is a math book. And I love the very old math books because of just how they are. I mean, look at this. Pictures and the charts and things, just very cool. So, and they come out like this. The old math book pages, I've been taking those apart, and it's like, oh my goodness, they were made to last. They have staples, and it's almost like the cording. It's like cording, but it's like, oh my gosh, what do they put in here? Ropes or something? These are just so hard to get apart, but I did get this one apart. And you can see the holes that were left. So you can get pages like that. And they might be a little rough over here. But I got it out the best I could. And used all the tips. And someone's, you know, sometimes in my comments, you all will give me tips on, oh, you can do this and that and the other to get the book pages out. And I've tried it. I've tried it all. Let me tell you. So I have tried it all. I used all your tips. So this is what happened. So this one came out pretty good, actually, considering that all of this was threads. I mean, talk about 5 pamphlet stitch. This would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pamphlet stitch, right? If it was a pamphlet stitch. So, and then there's some, I have a separate listing of 40s and older hymn book pages, 1940s and older. That's separate listing. This one is 50s and younger. So the other hymn book pages that are 50s and younger, I thought I could share some of those in this variety pack. So that is in my shop. I've been having some fun with my book pages, guys. You know, I bring home a lot of books, friends, right? My friends, you see it in my Thrifty Thursday. So I've been bringing home a lot of books. So I decided I need to do something more with them because I need to make room for the ones I've brought home and I don't have room for, right? So I need to share them. So the next bundle I have is book pages. So, I mean, children's book pages. So this is the children's book pages. I have, these are from storybooks, like children's storybooks. You can see what they look like. Little pictures and text, and they're all very, you know, some very cool. Look at that one. You know, I can't show you them all right now. Of course, there's so many here, right? I mean, I got all these are from storybook, what they're called, children's storybooks. So all these are from that, and they all have, you know, some pictures, some text, and different things. So all those, that size, some of them are starting to brown, things like that. So you get different shades and different pictures. So pretty. So that's from the storybooks, and these are from, I guess I'm going to call these readers, like the old readers. So this is probably from a couple different ones. I don't think I had one that was that thick, but it might have been from the same one. I guess it could have been. But you can see all the signatures here. See that? I left them in the signatures for the moment. And these are still kind of glued together there. But I got them out of the cover. But these are cool because of the font and the colors. And just awesome, aren't they? The old, really vintage, super vintage. You know, some of them might have a little writing. I just saw some writing, like there's a pencil mark. That's what I'm talking about. Something little like that. I'm, you know, and they might be like, see, this is kind of a little bit grungy, but we like that, don't we? That's perfectly usable in our, oh, this one's torn, so I probably wouldn't include that. See, this one's very torn right here. That one right there. See, that has the tear. I wouldn't include that one. Unless I included it as a freebie or something, I wouldn't count that, but, yeah, that can be used, you know, cut up for ephemera or something, you know, cut out the picture and use that. You know, you don't have to use the whole page. another one. This is just a cute little storybook. I've been, I haven't done it a lot, but I've brought home a few where the book covers were destroyed, but the pages inside were perfect. So I was like, well, I guess I can just take the pages out, right? I could just take the pages out. I don't have to use the book cover, because usually I just look for ones that have the book cover and the pages, but I have bought some that the book cover is perfect, but the pages are all maybe drawn and written on, and I was like, well, I don't have to use the pages. So it's a, you know, it's kind of a balance there, that there's ways to use, you know, parts of the book if you can't use all of the book. So this is another one, very beautiful little book here, The Busy Baby Lion. So cute. So, and look at those retro colors there. And then this is another one that's bigger. See, those were all kind of regular size, I guess. You might call it little, you know, not little, but regular size. These are, all of these pages are from the 365 Bedtime Stories book. And I love these because I have one that I've kept for myself, but I love these because of the colors in these books. They're bright and beautiful, but they're vintage, and they're very vintage actually. So you get all these pretty, you know, retro kind of vintage colors in here, and different, all kind of, some are nursery rhymes, some are, I mean, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? I love this book. Whenever I find it, I get it. So yeah, I have one for me, and this one I'm sharing. I think I might have another one that I have somewhere stashed in somewhere in my house. So anyway, that is the book page bundles that I've shared with you just now. So and another little listing I have done. I had some fun with these right here. I made ruffles out of, these are quilt top pieces. So I had this quilt top that I got from the thrift store, and it was just a quilt top. It wasn't made into a quilt. And what it looked like to me was someone made a quilt top out of like scrap fabrics, because see these were all on one quilt top. And can you see the different colors? They're like, no rhyme or reason. She wasn't trying to match anything. She was just using up her fabric scraps, right? Or maybe some of them are from clothing. I don't know, but I thought it was very cool. And so these quilt tops are in my, so if you're wondering what you can use cute quilt top squares from, you can make ruffles. And that's what I did this past weekend. I was gonna make some ruffles out of something. So I was like trying to figure out what fabric, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool with this pieced together fabric to make a ruffle out of that? And then you get these different fabrics in your ruffle. I thought that would be so cool. And it was. This is how they came out. This is, so when you do a ruffle, you take your fabric. I had to get one that was probably at least this long. This is probably the minimum fabric that I would do. Unless I was making little tabs or something, I might do that. But when you ruffle it, it's about half the size you start with, right? Because you're gathering it up. So these are the ruffles that I got from some quilt tops. And these quilt, did I say these are in my shop? Yeah, I took them right out of my shop. So, but they're still, the listing is still there. I as you can see, I have plenty. I think I have more in the other room too. That was a good size quilt top. But so I made a few ruffles here, and I wanted to show you. You know, I didn't try to make them like this one. See how it kind of has a little bit of a rough edge? That's where I cut it off of here. I just cut strips, like I cut this in half. These squares right here, I cut in half. I cut there, and I cut here. That's how I did the ruffles. So I would get, out of this one square, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 out of each, you know, section like that. So I didn't try to make the edges like any type of perfect edge. So I just cut them and made ruffles. That's all I did. So if you, these aren't listed yet, and they will be listed in the next few days when I have a moment. But I didn't try to make any kind of perfect edges. I just ruffled the quilt top pieces together. So, and they came out how they came out, you know what I mean? So they're not any kind of like perfectly made ruffle. They're just ruffled. And at first I was, when I was making them, I was cutting off the strings off at each end. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave the strings. And then whoever gets these can cut off the strings. So you might get some with strings and some without strings. But you can see that's part of where the fabric went together, you know, on the in between the squares. So you can see like a little piece of fabric there. And this is a pretty rough one. Not pretty rough, but you know what I mean? It's where the fabrics came together, and I cut right there. So that's what it looks like. Let me show you on the edge of a page, this particular one right here. Just as an example, if you were going to glue or sew this on the edge of a page, you just do that, glue it down, and there you go. You know, this is hard to do on right now with this particular ruffle, but anyway, there's one example. Let me show you another example. Glue it or sew it down, but you just put them on the edge of a page wherever you want it. And if you were to cut these up, I would put a little glue on the top and the bottom so that it doesn't, the thread doesn't come out, because you know it's not tight or anything. Where you cut it, if you cut it right there, it wouldn't be, the thread wouldn't be tied off or anything. It's not long enough. It wouldn't be long enough to tie it off. But if you put a little dot of glue there, like you'd probably use art glitter glue so it doesn't show. It would just dry and you wouldn't be able to really see it. So that's just an example of all of my ruffles here that I have made, and I will, like I said, get those in my shop soon. And the only other thing I had to show you, I think that's everything that all the listings. I'm working on a journal. This is the one I showed you on Monday, where we rusted this cover with my little rust kit, my little paint and rust kit. And I wasn't necessarily thinking this was going to be my next journal, but then after that video, I was like, well, I guess it could be my next journal. And so I went with it and decided to put this little cross stitch. This is a piece of cross stitch I found at a thrift store, and put it, it matched. I tried different things and it matched this cover so well that I decided to use it. Added these doilies, this little piece from BB Craft, this button from BB Craft, and I'll show you the inside in a second, but it worked out really well. This is what I used, some lace with fabric under it on the spine. I sewed that together and put that there as a nice thick piece, because I didn't want to be able to see through the lace, so I put fabric under it, and it turned out really pretty. There's the back so far. I think it looks gorgeous with that lace contrast between the lace, like the pretty delicate lace on the rusty book cover, kind of what I said, we re-grunged it because it was already grungy. It was a very old math book that this started out with, and it was already grungy, so we re-grunged it with this paint technique that we used here. And then so the inside, I used, let's see, I'll show you the book real quick. I used pages. I went to the cross stitch pages. These are cross stitched because of the cross stitch here. So I looked for the cross stitch pages in this needlework book. This is one. I've sold some of these in my shop, and I may have one in there now. But it's all stitchery type, you know, complete guide to needlework. And so I took this couple of cross stitch pages and used them here inside the cover. And then this is the cross stitch fabric, or I think it's called, is it called Aida cloth? A-I-D-A. Anyway, I had picked some up at a thrift store. And I said, when I brought this home, I showed you in my thrifty video, I said, I see the plain ones, you know, that like kind of off-white cross stitch cloth. I see that once in a while. I never bought any, but I always thought it might be useful. But then I saw this one with the pattern, and I picked that one up because it was so different and unique. And, you know, I like to pick up the different and unique things. And so I ended up, when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, I think that would be really cool. And I brought it in here. I thought, wow, it really would be cool, because it has like these little flower looking things on it. And they kind of matched these flowers. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is like so perfect. And so I used it here inside the spine. And then before I put it in, I put this little bookmark, lace bookmark in there. And so my next little thing I want to do to it is put a pocket here. So I've been trying to decide what to make the pocket out of. I want it to be something special, because after doing this, I decided, well, or after putting this on here, I decided, well, this is going to be a sewing themed journal. So it's going to be sewing themed. So that's why I got out this book too. It's sewing themed. And the 8 o'clock is sewing themed, right? So, I mean, how perfect, right? Okay, I wanted to mention this button real quick. This is from BB Craft. This is not a BB Craft demonstration or anything, but I just wanted to mention it because I showed you these buttons I got from BB Craft and the screws that came with it in my unboxing video. And I was like, when I took these out, or when I was trying to get this ready, I was practicing before I put it in the book on putting the screw in the back. And I was like, it won't screw in. And so I took it to my husband. I was like, what is going on here? This won't go in. I can't get it to screw in. And he's like, he looked at it for a minute. He tried to screw it in. He's like, then he looked at it closer. He's like, oh, this is not a screw. This is a punch. So if you get these, this is a punch. So I said, well, how do I get that in there? He's like, you can just hammer it in. You can just hammer it. And I'm like, just hammer it real hard and it'll go in? Or do I have to hammer it real hard and just, hit it real hard with the hammer? He's like, yeah, you're going to probably have to hit it real hard with the hammer and it should go in there. So I practiced with one before I did this one. And I was able to hammer it in. And then so I did this one and I made it so it has like this little, like a shank piece on the back. So you're able to put it through a hole. I made the hole with my crocodile, put the button in, and left it out enough so I could get, because I'm going to put some elastic back here and have it to be the closure and to flip over and wrap around this button. So I left it up enough to get elastic under there. And then I hit it with my hammer about 4 times and it went right in and it went flat. I just kept hitting it. And I was worried about this piece bending down or something. And it didn't. I was able to hammer it and it just went flat. It just stayed flat and went flat right to the book. So you have this here, but it doesn't look like, it looks fine. And it's not, really sticking up or, sharp or anything. So I think it's really cool is my point. It worked out just as I was hoping it would when I saw those on bbcraft.com. So anyway, I'm going to love using those, and I have quite a few to use, but that was super fun to do this. So I've been thinking about the pocket here, and I think I had an idea this morning, but we'll see what I end up doing. So I'm going to share some process on this as I, finish the pocket and start the pages and things. I'll get all my sewing stash out, and we're going to have some fun with this. So that is my, that's it for today. And I'll see you all in my next video. Tomorrow's my Thrifty Thursday, so come back for that. And guess what? I always forget to say this. I always forget to say, hey, can you guys subscribe and like and comment under my video? Some people say that every time. I always forget. So I'm going to say it. I just remembered it just now. So I was like, I think I'll say that in this video. Anyway, I'm being silly now and I got to go get ready for work. So I'll see y'all later and have a great day and happy crafting.